Yes, sir.
271 271 500.
देख हमने तो डिसेबल की हुई है अपनी मानसू भाई को
Guys,
ये आनंद है क्या साइड में?
okay, all those who have come, please do us a favor, switch off your audio. Please unmute your audio.
271 54
गंजे
43
खाना खाते हुए गाना तेरा
Okay, for those who are hearing me, I'm just going to start. Okay, Harish, just put it on to the first slide. First slide, the opening slide, description slide. Right, Tom, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, just a minute. Okay, guys, I don't know if you can see me. This is our first session. I think you can hear me. Tom, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
This is the first live streaming session by the Chief National Coach, and we hope to continue this. We've been doing it at the YCH for the last 1 month or so, and we thought we'd throw this open to everybody, to the entire yachting fraternity, and hopefully it will soon become the mode of communication between all the coaches in the YI, maybe across the world, and we have these live video sessions, which would be a great means of communication. I don't want to take more time. All of you have heard of Tomasz, and he's a top-of-line international optimist sailor as well as a laser sailor, highly achieved. And Tomasz is now here in India, as much under lockdown as all of us. And I hand over the screen to Tomasz. Tomasz, don't worry about the size of the screen changing. And we start today's video conference is basically brain exercises, nutrition, hydration for sailors. Well, it says during the COVID-19 crisis, but it's actually open to any point of time. These rules for hydration, these rules for nutrition, brain exercises are very important. I hand over to you, Tom. You can take over from here.
Hello, everyone. I'm very glad to see you. First of all, I would like to say a couple of things about me because I don't have the ability to share my thoughts between speaking, looking at the camera, and also reading too much of your questions and too much of your comments. So please use the chat. I'm very happy that you are there. I'm very happy that you are saying hi and so on. But please use the chat so we can have the questions. So when I look at the chat, it's actually the question there, which you have, so I can read it and then I can answer it if you have it, of course, during the session. I should now ask you if you actually all hear me, but I hope it's fine. If someone doesn't, then please write it also on the chat. If you have any problem, also write it down, because now it's the time we are having the, that's the first time we are making that video officially so broad, and let's make it work today. So we are sure that it's actually happening. Just a moment, please. Okay. So today, because we all found ourselves in a quite difficult situation regarding the pandemic, so the coronavirus, That is why we thought about a topic which is most suitable. It goes as a basic, so it won't be very detailed. It's just a little bit about how we should act, what's important, and how we can all stay strong and safely go through that period, which is difficult for us. So please, as you can see, the topic is there. Please go to a second slide. So we will start with our brain, right? Because the brain, normally we use it every day, but what does it mean that, what is it? What does it do? So it's a very, very wide topic. I just wanted to make it as short as possible. I know also that some of you might not understand English perfectly. That's fine. I hope afterwards, if you ask questions in Hindi to your authorities, to your coaches, to your friends, they can explain a little bit more. If you want the presentation, you have it. I can also send it to you. Just let me know, and you can have it afterwards, so you can actually see it on your computers, phones, whatever you have. So the brain, as you can see at the picture, that's a particular picture I wanted to show you, because you can see how complex the brain is. It's one of the most uncertain things in our body. It's still not revealed. It's still not unveiled. People are working to find out what we actually can do with our brain. At the moment, the scientists are claiming that we are using between 6 and 6 point something% of our capability of our brain. So basically, it's our center of control. We are sending, the brain is sending by trillions of connections, like nerve connections. It's sending information to all our body. So when I move that finger, or when I blink, it's everything happening in here, right? So first of all, my brain is sending by the nerve actually a message that I should blink, and then I do it. If you hurt your finger and the finger, you feel pain, so it's the same. So it's not that your finger says it's hurting. No, it's the tissues on your finger send information to your brain, which take it as a signal that something is wrong, the tissue is hurt, and then you feel it. You feel actually that something is not normal. But everything happens and starts in our brain. That's why it's very important to make that our control system in the best shape possible. Looking at the chat, there's no comments, no questions. Am I having a good chat? The last message is, Suhim, that's for you. That's a question to you, please. Do you have any messages on the chat?
No messages which are can be answered.
No messages which should be answered, right? Okay, so is that fine? I mean, that's okay. They have access to it, right?
Yeah, we are fine. Let's go on. Yeah.
Okay, because from 10:01 I have no other messages. Like it's a little bit like it's shut.
Yeah, don't worry. If there a message comes on chat, I'll ask you the question.
Okay. So going forward, guys and girls, a couple of curiosities, maybe interesting things about the brain. So the brain is actually 80% of the content is water. So we will go through the topic, and that's why hydration of our body, especially in high temperature climate, it's so important, because 80% of your brain, so 80% of your system of control, who decides what you do, how you think, how you focus, everything. It's also very connected to hydrating. So to the amount of water that you every day intake to your body. Second interesting thing is that the brain weighs 1.5 kilograms. It's quite a lot. So it's a big thing. But to that, I would like to add that it doesn't matter how big it is. because as you can see on the other line, the Einstein's brain was only 1.2 kg. It means that bigger doesn't mean better. The other information which is also curious is that the brain matures in 25-year-old. That means until 25th year of your age, you can still give your brain new capacity. So you can make that brain as open as possible. That's why kids, especially in the very young age, learn so quickly, because they take all that information and they store it in the brain. Later on, when you are getting older, you can still learn, you can still put information in it, right? But it's not so easy, and you have to work harder to make it than when you were a kid. So when the brain works, when the brain operates until you get to sleep, actually, so when it's shut itself down, so because it doesn't completely, but so it creates energy that can actually light a small bulb, which is interesting. And we are normally saying that the brain is a muscle. No, it's not entirely a muscle. And then scientists are like squabbling a little bit if we can call it a muscle, but we can surely establish that we can treat it as a muscle, because when we work on it, so it gets stronger. So it acts in that way, it acts as a muscle. Please, another slide. One more slide. Next one, please. So we are locked down at the moment. All of you are, like we discussed, we are in a difficult situation. We cannot go out. We cannot go running, walking, sailing. First of all, we can't sail. But what we can do still is train physically. Why is it important? It's not only important for your body, for your stamina, but it's also important for the brain. Why? Because when you make physical training, everything has an impact also on your brain. How? It boosts when you do anything that is physical. When you do a training, when you sweat, when you make push-ups, or when you make jumps, or when you make squats, burpees, whatever you do at home, it's very good. So I encourage you to make it, because it's healthy and it's good for you. Especially now in the lockdown, when we don't move, right? We don't move too much. We are just closed in that small flat apartment, whatever you have, or the place you are in. So movement every day is important. Fitness also prevents your brain from aging. So whenever you do fitness, it helps your brain to get stronger, longer. And then when you will get older, your brain will still work better if you actually perform a little bit of activity. If you have any problem with sleeping, if you can't go to bed, or if you go to bed and you have a lot of mind-blowing things inside, so it also can mean that you are not actually active enough, because activity is very good for sleep. Whenever you do any active exercise during the day, then afterwards it's easier at night, and then when you get to sleep, so your body gets deeper sensation, so you rest. So actually you rest well, better. Fitness also, excuse me. Fitness also improves your perception, your focus, and your ability to concentrate. It's very simple. I'm sure you have that feeling that when you are staying at home, at some point you are like being very, very weak, very lazy, and you don't want to do things. You are like, oh my goodness, it's so hard. If you look at like a book, then you read 2 lines and you are already bored. You don't want to do it. It's also because your body is too loose. It's too lazy. It's too lazy. So fitness makes it better, increase that ability, And whenever you want to study, whenever you want to learn, is it at school or is it at the army, navy, wherever you are, academy, it's very good to combine learning with a gap of physical exercises. Oh, now I see the chat. Question, what if we get dehydrated on racing day? How can we recover fast? We will get to that. And okay, so the last thing about physical fitness and the brain, and very important, I would say, because I like to smile. I think the smile helps everybody to get along every day. So fitness makes you happy, and that's a fact. That's a fact. That's every scientist, every scientific document will tell you that when you actually exercise, you are happier. And it's true, it's a fact. We don't deny it. Please, another slide. Next one. So that was fitness. We will take questions on chat, but Tom will answer them at the end of the presentation. I will try. Yes, I will try if we have time. Brandon, but we'll get to the hydration. So then I can answer that question about hydration. You will get that. That was fitness and the brain. So how actually fitness, so your activity when you sweat and when you burn calories act on your brain, which is only good. The more the questions, the better. Sure, of course, if you're more active, then I'm also happy. I know you want to hear something more interesting. But now let's toss aside activity, physical activity, and get to brain. So as we discussed in the beginning, the brain is also working as a muscle. So we can, as you can work on your biceps, right? It's not like this from your, when you are born and when you're a kid, it's not like this, right? You have to work on it to make it. You have to work on everything. So the brain is exactly the same. It's exactly the same. If you don't read, if you don't learn, if you don't memorize, then your brain gets tick, 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 tick. Your ability, your capability of work, that high work, which is there in brain, is just getting lower. So it's very important, especially for us in our sport, in sailing, right? Because you are not just a runner. I mean, sorry, not to offend anyone, because every sport, every discipline is its own topic. But I just wanted to give an example that if you run, you actually focus on running, right? In sailing, we have so many things we have to focus on. It's also your physics, but it's your technique, it's the water around you, it's your opponents around you, it's the wind, it's the weather, it's everything. So it's the brain, the muscle. I mean, brain is the most important thing you can actually develop, improve, to make you a better person and to make you a better sailor. So you can see brain exercises, it's actually learning new languages. Why? Because when you learn a new language, you remember words, you remember grammar, and that's very good for development of your brain. Reading is good, but it's reading. Reading can be like only for fun, and also like reading something interesting, like if you would intake new information. So if you only read for fun, then it's also good to try to read something new, like some knowledge, right? Memorizing, it's combined. So when you learn languages, read, it's memorizing as well. Playing, yes, playing is good. In the end, I gave you a couple of app suggestions, and one of that suggestion is Peak app application. And actually by that you can play, but all the games there are very, very it's not easy to play it. So you have to actually involve your brain, you have to focus on it, which is the playing I'm talking about. Meditation and yoga, that's obvious because it's very good, it's very healthy. All the studies will tell you that while you are doing it, you're actually learning about yourself, you're learning about your body, and your brain also gets better, you're improving it. Visualization. I am, look at that picture now, right? That brain with that weight. It's fun, right? It's good to see it. My talk at the moment, blah, blah, blah. at some point it gets boring. You might be like, what? What am I talking about? Isn't interesting and so. But when you see it, sometimes when you see a picture, when you see an example, when you see a video of someone doing something, it's much better than thousands of words. That's why visualization is very important. I also, those last couple of things are my advice. So write more and plan next day. Write more and plan next day, because it's also involving your brain. So when you actually think about what you're going to do next day, it's good. So don't just like wake up and, what should I do? No, plan it day before. So I'm going to wake up, I'm going to eat breakfast, and then I'm going to spend 1 hour on physical training. After that, I'd like to take a bath and maybe read something interesting, right? It's very good. It's better than just being not aware. Social media, communicate and talk. It's good, but in the 21st century, it's also difficult. We have to narrow that, because it's not about staying in the phone all day. It's just that communicating with people, going out, being talkative, it's good. It's a good thing, but not too much. I'm not saying that staying in the telephone and app, it's actually helping your brain. It is at some point, but not too much. And the last very important suggestion is that you actually should experience things. Experience means that you have to smell, you have to see. Whenever you are, even at the moment in the flats, whenever you are, when you eat slowly, feel it. Whenever you eat breakfast, it's not just like this. Try to make it pleasant. Try to be aware while doing it. It's also impacting your brain. And very important thing, sleep. Fitness activity is better for your sleep, but to exercise your brain, you need sleep. So you have to be aware that if you are not sleeping well, your brain will dysfunction. Next slide, please. So this is more or less how it should look like. You can spend 20% of the day doing some exercises, some active things. But by active things, I'm not saying only exercises. You can do whatever. You can clean your flat. You can make laundry. You can make many things even inside the flat, right? I'm working at least 1.5 to 2 hours a day by doing dishes, by cooking, by doing that and that. So it's also activity. 40% is sleep and healthy food, which we're going to talk right now. 20% is book, news, social media. But look, that social media is the third thing. So first of all, remember that it's important to read things that you actually learn by, and news, because you also learn by the news. You remember, you think about it, and then you can use that information to talk in social media, like ask questions, ask your friends, right? Have you heard that happened today? Or someone said it, that this is very nice, or we should drink more water. Coach said we have to drink more water. And then you chat. So this is also, everything impacts your brain. And then you can also, of course, spend a little bit of your time, 20% here, on playing and fun. Fun is important. You will not be able to go all the way at exercises and planning and training without just also having a little bit fun, chill, and do whatever you like to do, like just to free your mind completely. Next slide, please. Food. That pyramid, which you're actually going to see right now, it's not a coincidence. I know that normally you see a pyramid with, in the top, you have bread, you have cereals, you have many types of carbohydrates, like buns, bread. Verma, are you there? Bridgerach. Make a comment if you are there, like okay or something, because I see that some of us are having trouble with connection. So that pyramid is not a coincidence. It's actually what is important, really. after a couple of years of study and a couple of years of changes, we develop a different pyramid, a little bit different pyramid, because it's still, as you can see, vegetables, right? Proteins like chicken, meat, whatever you can eat, healthy fruits and healthy oils, and then a little bit of dairy products like cheese, milk, egg, and red meat. So as you can see, there's no bread. There's no bread, there's no buns, and so on. Food is your fuel, guys and girls. It's very important. It's very important. It's whoever tells you that you are what you eat is right. Because when you eat good, you feel stronger, you feel healthier, you feel happier, you have more energy. Everything is about what you actually put in. Everything what we are. So our body and the brain is a machine. It's the same as in the car, is the same as in the flight, in the plane, and whatever machine you have to put a good fuel, right, to make it going, or energy, or like electricity, right? Even when you use your phone, it has to go. It's a particular energy that you have to put in, right? It's not enough. I mean, when you connect it to wrong source, it will not load, right? The battery will not start to be charging. It's the same with your body. If you don't put a good fuel, then you will not charge. You will not feel stronger. You will not feel better. Only Tom. Okay. So as you can, did you know couple of interesting things? Better food you provide and smarter you eat, stronger the brain and the body. That's what we talked about already. Frequency of the meals. So if you eat 2-3 times a day, it's not entirely what you would like to do. I suggest to make it at least 5 meals. Breakfast, between breakfast, lunch, dinner, and supper. Of course, you can change it, but I'm making that way and I'm feeling good. And also scientists and many documents and archives which we know. What are those arrows? What is it? Bridget just let me know that Ken able to hear, only any idea. One video is muted. I know what.
Don't worry about it, Tom. Just go on, because I think it's a local problem with Bridget.
Okay. Can we actually extend it a little bit, or I have 30 minutes and that's all?
Yeah, I mean, we're already 10:28. Schedule was for 30 minutes or less, but doesn't matter. Just go on. We have all of the participants live. Nobody's left. Thanks very much.
I will try to make it as short as possible, but we also took a little bit time in the beginning to make it all work.
Without a problem. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the frequency, 5 meals, that's my suggestion. You can have more, but if you have less, then it's a little bit, you are overloading your stomach, and the body likes to have food all the way during the day. So you can have small snacks, you can have small meals, but it's much better to have small meals and more frequently than a very big meal once in a day. Next, 35, 45, 20. That's the percentage that I'm actually advising. Like you can, that varies. If you go to the internet, if you go to web, you will see different numbers, but that's my suggestion. We don't have time because it's a very wide topic, but just take it as a fact that that's my suggestion. If you feel I'm wrong, or if you feel that something different works for you, that's fine. I'm not saying you have to stick to that. That's just my suggestion. Important fact is that you Indian sailors, we as a team, we at the moment in India, we eat a lot of vegetables, right? You eat vegetables everywhere and you don't eat too much meat. So that pick of the pyramid, the red meat, you don't have it. Some of you also don't eat dairy products. You don't eat eggs, you don't drink milk, and so on. So that also may cause a small problem. Why? We'll go to that in the next slide, but now I'm just going to let you know that when you eat vegetables, yes, they are healthy. They have a lot of vitamins and minerals and so on, but most of them, they are not going to be digested, and you will not intake them. You will not take them in your body, in your system, if you will not provide other things like fat. So whenever you are eating very green salad, it's good to put a little bit of oil on it. Or that's why actually Italians are always pouring oil on the salad, because fat and vitamins is good. To digest protein, you need water. That's obvious. Whenever you will point out in the web protein, you will hear that you have to drink water to digest protein. So whenever I'm suggesting that 35%, it means you have to also remember about hydrating. But it's not about drinking during the meal, because your stomach has a particular HP acid level. And if you're gonna drink, you're gonna make the HP lesser. You're gonna make, I don't know how to say it in English at the moment, but
make it alkaline.
Sorry?
To make it alkaline.
Yes.
You mean the
yes.
pH, not the HP.
Sorry? Did
you mean the pH?
I'm always bad in that. Yes, pH. Sorry, pH. Yes, pH. So the percentage of acid, stomach acid, right? pH, of course, not HP. pH. So when you're drinking water, you're just making the same amount of acid wider, and the percentage is getting lower. This is not good for your digesting procedure. So whenever you eat, try not to drink too much, but during day, yes, hydrate. Sugar is everywhere. We know that. If you don't know, then I will show you next slide. If you don't eat too much sugar, that's next slide, please. So this is a very good example of how much sugar you have in products we actually drink every day. Like you drink Coke, you drink juice. I do sometimes. I think you do too. Look at how much sugar is there. And this is true. So every time you take a drink, you can look at the label there on the back side, and you will have numbers. And you will see that in 100 milliliters of the liquid, you have, for example, 12 grams of sugar. That's why in all can, you have all that white thing. This is sugar. And sugar is very bad. Sugar, again, it's a very long topic. Most of the things you should remember is that sugar makes you obese, gets you unhealthy, slows your reaction. Who is doing that? Those slides, what is it?
Okay, Harish, switch to the next slide. Guys, if you want to ask questions, get onto the chat window. At the bottom of your Zoom screen, you'll find a chat box. Click on that and start asking your questions, because we don't have too much time. So just start asking your questions on chat. I'm noting them down, and I will ask Tom, and the answers will come through. So it's a good time to start asking your chats.
Okay, so sugar causes disease. You can get ill by that, but a little bit detailed, just a little bit, is that sugar. What does sugar? Sugar, if you take too much sugar, it destroys your insulin hormone reaction and work. Insulin is a very important hormone which we do have in our body, and that insulin is responsible for burning fat. Burning fat. So if you see in America that people are very, very big, right? It's because their insulin hormone is not working. They're eating so much sugar that it's actually just bringing more fat in your body. If it works normally, if your body works normally, if you don't overload the sugar level, then your insulin will connect to the brain, and it will tell your body, we don't need that. We will burn it, which is the good way how it should be doing. If you eat too much sugar, you're making it all corrupted. Okay, next slide, please. Proteins. I know that I know that you are not for. I'm eating meat, chicken, whatever I can find, fish, prawns. And every type of meat I can actually find, I eat. Lamb, you have mutton, right? You have the mutton biryani, delicious anyway. But I know that you are eating a lot of plants. So this is an example of plants which have proteins, and you can actually include them in your meal. as you can see at the slide, I pointed out a couple of things like being a vegetarian, but we already talked about it. So a little bit that you have to have fat to intake vitamins from your food. But it also, when you're a vegetarian, it also means that you are actually missing a couple of things that you can take, that you're missing a couple of things that you can put in your body with other products, like dairy products, like milk, egg, and meat. But it's not a problem. Vegetarians are healthy people, and I understand the idea, it's very good. But you need to just be aware that while eating vegetables, you have to remember about B vitamin type, B vitamin and A vitamin, two vitamins which are very connected to being veggie. We don't have too much time, so I will just leave that topic here. Next slide, please. Oh, just one thing. You remember that when you are eating a lot of vegetables, so you are eating things which are not very satisfying. By satisfying, I mean fulfilling you. So when you eat a lot of green, you are getting hungry easy. You eat green thing, and after an hour, you're already hungry. Keep that in mind, because maybe you can adapt a little bit so that you will put more proteins in your diet, and proteins will make you feel full. So you will feel satisfaction. You will feel that the meal was okay. Hydration. Oh, guys and girls, this is a very, very long and very important topic. First of all, the question which I remember from Harshita, how we should hydrate. We'll go to next slide. We'll show you what are the drinks which are actually hydrating you. But on the water, you should not allow yourself to be dehydrated. So if you are dehydrated, it's already very late. And it's probably, even if you will hydrate, so I mean, even if you will drink water, you will not be able to regain focus quickly. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like you drink water and then, oh, okay, fine. Of course, you have to drink it anyway, but dehydration is very damaging. It causes thinking problems, focus problems. Your eyes are getting sore. You feel dizzy. Your head can be in pain, and most of all, you feel like your body is heated up, and you don't know what's going on. So it's like a little bit like on the desert without water. I mean, on very, very sunny day, when you are on the sun and you feel like overwhelmed by the sun. So it's that feeling. It's a very bad feeling. So to prevent it, we need to remember to drink. Drink stabilize blood volume, so it makes your blood flow normal. Improve also your muscle and joint daily routine. Cleans your body, that's very important, because everybody, whenever you, even stress, it's acting with toxins. It's releasing toxins in our body. So water, hydrating, helps us to get actually out those toxins out. Next slide, please. So this is how to know, what to know. Is it necessary to take no veg? Doesn't veg enough to energize the body?
Don't worry, I'll ask you all the questions at the end, Tom.
Okay, I don't know how to get, I will shoot, then I would have to scroll all the chat. So I will
scroll, I'm noting them down, so I'm
okay, you are writing them down, perfect. You are writing them down, perfect, fantastic. So drink at least 2 water of liquid every day. We're gonna go next slide will show you the drinks. Water is the best. Water is the best. Why? Because it has no calories. It hydrates you quite well, and it's easy. It's easy to digest. It's easy to get in and easy to get out. How to know that you are dehydrated? We already talked about the dehydrated effect. So you're dizzy, you have sore eyes, you can't focus, you have problems with concentration, right? But how to prevent. So every time in the day that you see that you feel that you should go to the toilet already, because it's like 4 or 5 hours and you are not going there, it means you are not taking enough water. That's the first and very important fact. If you don't go to the toilet often, couple of times a day, that means 3, 4, 5 times a day, it means you're not taking enough. If you're going only one time in the to the toilet, it surely means you're not taking enough water in your system. And the same if you have head pain, dry eyes, that already is a symptom of dehydration, but we want to prevent it. Dehydration is already there. So it's very good to understand that when you, for example, when you are thirsty, now I need a little bit of water because I'm talking a lot. But when you actually are thirsty, like you want to take water in, it means it's too late. It means you should be drinking half an hour before. Remember that while doing exercise, you are sweating. So you are releasing the toxins out, but also the water, right? You are getting out the water out of your body. So you have to take it in. And the important factor also is that how to know that you are dehydrated is that when you go to a toilet and you see that your urine is a very dark yellow, it's either mean that you are sick, because it might mean you are sick, or the second thing is that you are dehydrated. So first you have to take a tea or a water and then see if it's gonna be better. Next slide, please. So this is a little bit about drinks that you can take and what is hydrating you and what is not. As you can see, fully fat milk is one of the best. And you can also see that cold tea cola and orange juice, they are hydrating you. Yes, that's a fact. So they are, with that diagram, you can actually think that by drinking Coke, you're going to be hydrated well, better than by hydrated by water. But we already talked about sugar. And by drinking 1 can of the Coke, you take 40 grams of sugar. Like you can just put a spoon in it's the same. You can take a glass, put 40 grams of sugar, put a little bit of water there, mix it, and that's your Coke. So take that in mind, that even if a glass of juice is good, it's healthy during a day, it has also vitamins and so on, it's good, of course, but 1 glass, maybe 2, but 1 liter of juice? No. 2 liters of juice? Then no. If you are training, if you are active on the water, you should put in the water, in the bowl of water, you should mix it with minerals and vitamins, right? Don't mistake it with sweeteners. No sweeteners. It's just good quality vitamins and minerals. Coffee is dehydrating you, but you don't drink coffee, so it's not your problem. It's mine. I'm drinking 2, so I need to remember to take more water. Next slide. Why everything is so important, which as we discussed, every of those topics can be extended in an hour of speech and can be much more detailed, right? But that's only the basics. Today is the first class. Why is it important? Because our sport is very complicated. It involves mostly your brain. So you have to be like a little bit like a Robocop. Everything is there. Not only the brain, but your body is very, very strong. You are fit, you are healthy. And because during sailing, we are very multitask. So all those things, food, hydration, and brain exercise, they all do matter. I will just read it because those are good thoughts, I think. Especially at the top of sailing world, the smallest details matter. That's true. You think that only talent is like, you have to be very talented to be the top sailor? No, it's not. Talent is important, but also hard work and that awareness, which we just talked about. Those small things. Like if a sailor, imagine that 2 sailors are at the same very high level and one is dehydrated during racing. It's very easy. If that person doesn't take good food, which is not energetic enough, boom, and you have that difference, which makes that sailor perform at the top during that one day, for example, and that sailor is already 10th, 15th, 20th, not because he's a bad sailor, but because he did not prepare, he was not aware, and he did not realize that many things, small things, are very important to make a big impact. remember that your health, especially now during the COVID pandemic, and when you are at home, remember that your health and safety is a priority. Everything you do is about staying safe and staying healthy. So also keeping in mind good food, hydration, and brain exercises, it's for your health and good positive vibrations. If you will act smart and learn from the lesson, you shall decrease harm and injury for sure, especially in our warm and sunny climate. Next slide, please. That's the last, a little bit of talk. Being a pro, it's the same, it's like a sum of things which we already talked and I already mentioned, but I would like to point out two things from that. You can read all, but most important thing for me is dreams don't come true. You are forging them. You are making them come true. It's by your actions, they can happen. And the last, if you aim, and second thing, which is important to me, very important, if you aim high and wish to achieve success, only actions can prove it. Words are meaningless. So if I would at the moment, what I'm saying is that if I would at the moment talk to you like this, be very smart, but then at home eat a lot of fast food, like eating a lot of McDonald's and drinking Coke and not sleeping well, then I would be actually not going with my word. I'm trying to act different, and I'm encouraging you to do the same. So be aware, read more, learn more, and be like, it will help you not only in sport, it will not help you only in the sailing, but also in life. More you know, more knowledge you take, it's better for you. Next slide, please.
Okay, I think we can move to questions now. Is that the last slide?
No. Go next slide, please. So those are the apps that can help you by those are the suggestions of apps that you can use. The peak one is for playing. It's, as we discussed, focus. Calm is meditation. Curiosity on the left, it's curiosity, as it says. ABC, it's for languages. It's a very good app. You can use it for every, main languages. STRAVA, it's running app. You can use it for training. TED, it's Mr. Sukhim, Coach Sukhim is at TED, so you can actually see how it looks like. He has a speech there, which is very cool. I encourage you to see it. Garmin, it's also for exercising. So that's my suggestion, how you can use the technology and your phone to actually work not only by Instagram and Facebook, but also do something for yourself, for your brain and for your body. Next slide. And this is a little bit, and the last 3 slides, which you will see, with information, is the fitness. So if you're interested, but let's toss it aside, because I'm sure you know how to do it. I'm sure you know how to make it, stay fit at home. If you want that presentation and if you want more details from it, just let me know. I will send it to you. Talk to each other. Some of you for sure have contacts to me, and I can easily send it to you as well, so you have it. Next slide. Right, you can all do that at home. It's easy. Next slide. Easy, right? Pictures. You see a picture and you already know what to do. Okay, questions? Questions?
Yep. Okay, here we go. Well, the first question I think you already answered, but maybe you can do it again, is what if we get dehydrated on racing day, which means in the middle of racing, on racing day, in the morning, you're dehydrated, you've got headaches. How do we recover fast?
Recover fast. It's, as we discussed, water is the best, but during sunny days and during physical activity, because we are doing it by sailing, it's very important to put something in the water, like minerals and vitamins. So if you are dehydrated during a race, it's always an information for you to learn next day. It's more important to learn for the future from that one situation. Because if you are hydrated, as we discussed, it's not very easy to get again in the shape. Yes, you have to drink a lot of water. When you come after the race, you have to drink. You have to talk with your coach and drink. Sip, sip, sip by sip all the time. Take a bottle to your boat and drink even before the start procedure, just to make it hydration. But it's not like 5 minutes and you'll be again, ooh. No, it takes time. So if you are ever dehydrated, it means previous actions were not enough. So learn from that mistake, move it for the next day, and remember, always have a bottle of water on the coach's boat. That's why I'm always encouraging sailors to put their bag in the coach's boat. So when you need a bar, a banana or whatever, or water especially, you have it there. Next question.
Summary of what Tom is saying is that prevention is better than cure. Dehydration, once you're in the dehydration cycle, it takes a lot of time and could create a lot of damage. Make sure that you never get dehydrated. I think that answers the question. Next question is, how do we put on more body weight? And how do we put on gain muscle weight?
That's not related to the topic, but if you eat too many just vegetables, and if you eat too many, by vegetables I mean also carbohydrate, because that's connected, right? Vegetables, carbohydrates, it's connected. So carbohydrates, too many carbohydrates are evolving in more energy, which is being stored in your body. So basically fat. So it means if you eat too much carbohydrates by sugar, fruits and veggies as well, it can be stored as fat. To burn body, you have to put more protein and more fat. That's why I suggested one on the slide, I suggested 35% of protein, 20% of fat, and 45% of carbohydrates. Remember, by being veggie, I'm not saying it's bad, but being veggie means you have to be more aware what you are doing. Vitamins and less protein. I mean, you have to provide more vitamins with other sources, and you have to remember that not all the plants have protein. So I've given you the example of plants which has. But you also, that 5 ml thing is good for your building up, because if you eat only 3 times a day, it means your body has to work all day with taking a little bit of resources from your body. So it's not helpful. It's not helping you to actually build muscles. If you eat 5-6 times a day, but more frequently, it's also good. Next
Tom,
question.
the question is it necessary to take non-veg? Can't we manage with just vegetarian alone? I think Tom's slide actually mentions that, but maybe Tom, you can bring that slide back.
Can you say the question again, please?
Is it necessary to take non-veg? Does not vegetarian have enough energies for the body?
No, it's as I explained I tried to explain it quite far. There is even at the moment, there is even a move in the world which is trying to show that best sportsmen, like really tough guys and girls, they are eating only veg. So I'm not saying, again, vegetarian is bad and it's not enough. It's enough. It might be enough. But remember, read about it. It's the best way is to read about it. Be aware. If you eat veg, if you're a vegetarian, put the topic in the web. Like, what does it mean being a vegetarian? Vegetarian and vitamins, vegetarian and protein, and so on. And learn to understand what you actually are doing. Because normally, as we discussed, some of the substances, some of the vitamins, and some of the minerals also, it's easier to provide with meat, with fish, with oil, with dairy products, right? It's easier, but it doesn't mean you cannot provide it with other things. You just have to learn what are those things.
I can add something here, and that is there are a lot of athletes, top athletes. There's a movie on Netflix called Game Changers.
Exactly.
Game Changers actually talks about not a vegetarian diet alone, but a completely vegan diet, which means no milk products, no animal products at all. And top athletes, wrestlers, weightlifters have been able to put on a lot of muscle weight with a pure vegetarian diet. Watch the movie Game Changers, and then of course get onto the web and understand that things like broccoli and stuff like that are also very good for, and spinach are also very good for protein.
Nuts are perfect. I'm having at least a handful of nuts every day.
Yeah,
Nuts are very, very good for your brain, very good fat. They are providing you a lot of good fats and also proteins. So it's about to be aware, boys and girls. Don't believe, if you read one article, for example, if you watch the Game Changers, if you read about Game Changers, it doesn't mean that being only veg is the best. They're not, I mean, you don't have to think that way, but getting more knowledge is the clue. That's the key. We had that in one of the topics, like knowledge, taking as much information and process it, be aware what's happening. So again, if you are vegetarian, it's perfectly fine. You are 100% able to make the same body shape and to stay healthy and to stay fit and so on. But be aware, what does vegetarian comes with? Be aware and be smart.
The next question is it only artificial sugar intake we should worry about, or the same applies to natural sugar as well?
I have a couple of friends at the moment which are built like almost bodybuilders, and they are not taking a gram of course they have to take a gram, but they are preventing sugar at all costs. Again, it's the same as with the vegetarian thing. Is it healthy? Is it needed? I don't know. I'm always trying to be a little bit in the middle, you know? It's about being aware that sugar is unhealthy, and especially artificial sugar, which was mentioned, is unhealthy. Like, look at the things, like if you have processed food, everything is like a junk. So it's a little bit about understanding that too much always normally it doesn't mean good thing. So normal sugar, like in fruits, it's fine, but too much fruits, no. If you eat 1 fruit per day, maybe 2, it's fine. But if you will eat 5 bananas, it's not going to be healthy. You don't need that. So again, natural sugars, it's less damaging than the artificial one, but it's still there. Too much sugar impacts your insulin hormone and destroys the process between your actually fat layer and how does the insulin works on burning fat and keeping you lean.
The next question is, other than water, what drinks can we carry in the water to hydrate oneself?
You can, for example, if you don't find, remember that the best way to find a good solution for this is to learn by reading the labels. If you take a juice, right? Juice, one juice and second juice. It doesn't mean those juices are the same. One is a little bit more healthy because it's more natural and so on. And the other one is just saying juice. But when you take the label and you see, it's actually just water with sugar. So it's very important to understand what you are drinking. And by doing it, you have to learn. You have to read the labels and you have to try to get inside that drink. But answering the question, it's very good to mix water with powder. So with vitamins and minerals, which you can actually buy from good quality. Who is making those lines? What's happening?
We have a company here called Enerzal. We've got Electral. Quite a few companies make them here. So my recommendation is that even if on a juice packet you find no sugar added and stuff like that, please don't believe it, because it's the fermented sugar which is anyway created, and it's as good as artificial or natural sugar. The important thing is, as far as possible, maybe just even avoid juices unless the juices are absolutely freshly made in front of you by which methods. The other thing is, you can use powders like Enerzal and Electral, which are basically supplementing all the salts that you lose as a consequence of perspiration. That's probably what Tom wanted to say.
I was a little bit deconcentrated by all those green marks on the screen. Yes, thank you, Sufini. You are 100% right. You can remember that your coaches are there for you always. You have authorities, you have your friends, older friends, more experienced friends. You can always ask them. One thing which is crucial, when you buy anything, when you add anything, you have to be aware if it's healthy first, and then if it's allowed. WADA, right? So it's anti-doping committee provided a list of anti-doping substances, which sometimes can be included in some bad companies' powder, or so always be aware that you cannot just take it from the shelf, buy it and put it in and drink. You are a sportsman, you are responsible, and not being aware doesn't mean you are not being accountable. So remember about that. Well, my suggestion is, for example, if you don't have the powder, if you don't want what I was doing, and I even now I'm doing it because I know that sugar is not good, but sometimes I like to have something sweet. So I'm making 1 liter of liquid by taking one glass of juice, putting it in the bottle, and the resting is water. So I mix it. I have 1 glass of juice. I mix it with water, so I'm hydrating well. I know that there is something more than just the water in it, but I also know that this is the amount of sugar that actually I'm allowing myself per day by just drinking.
Okay, guys, I think it's exactly an hour since we started. I think we've done reasonably well. I hope everybody enjoyed the session. And thanks, Tom. Fantastic session. Many, many more to come. I think we've got a series of topics. Some of the questions, I think only 2 of them I had to miss out because they were very focused on core muscle development and stuff like that. So we've left those questions out. There are going to be sessions on fitness, on the initial flavor is going to be optimist. And we are going to talk about speed. We're going to talk about, the importance of balancing, the importance of strength, the importance of pretty much sale settings. Pretty much, there are already about 30 topics, which are very focused topics that are going to come on. And so the meeting will remain on for another 2 minutes max till probably 11:05, during which you can put in your comments and suggestions onto the meeting. And after that, we will be calling the meeting off. Thanks, Tom. Thanks, everyone. We had 100 participants, which was the limit. So there were some people which were outside, but I don't think there were too many outside. I just saw about 3 or 4. The numbers dropped down to something like 78. And currently I'm seeing 77. So some people did leave, but I pretty much allowed everybody in. We will improve the security of this system considerably from the next meeting onwards. And I think we should probably be live again, maybe either Tuesday or Wednesday with the same people. And then we'll have registrations and we'll probably create a WhatsApp group when we can communicate the next meetings. Thanks very much, guys. And please leave your comments.
Thank you everyone for joining. That was very entertaining for me. That was the first class. Now I even see some of you. Muna! And Bridget, Verma, hey! So you were not locked with the video, but I don't know. I am only seeing you 2 at the moment because probably most of the sailors are somewhere in the back. But I'm curious, who is making those?
Yeah, we'll set that up. I mean, I think we'll shut the meeting in another 2 minutes. And we will be figuring that out and sort that out by next time.
Remember, boys and girls, that everything which we discussed at the moment, just at the end, everything we discussed, you don't have to, and please don't take it as a fact. Whatever we are saying with all the coaches you will hear, it's only an information. It's a suggestion. I'm not sure. I will never be sure that I'm 100% right, but I'm all the time trying. We should be all the time trying to learn more, to be more aware, and to basically, because we are developing, the society is developing. We are learning new things. Scientists are showing us, are telling us new things. Maybe more accurate things, maybe more important things, right? How many times during the last couple of years you heard that protein in milk, it's very fat in milk is bad. So they developed milk without fat, or you had, like, for example, no sugar, but actually there was, like Mr. Sukin said, there was a lot of artificial sugar, or there's
no artificial sugar actually.
The
No sugar.
no, I forgot the name. How you the sweetener you actually put in. I forgot it in English. But so like you develop those small pills, right, for a coffee and tea. So instead of putting a spoon of sugar, you could actually make click, and then there was a small tiny pill which you put in the tea, and it was making the tea sweet. It's all. Is it healthy? Always ask questions like, is it really healthy? Is it really good? Like now, some time ago, people were saying like coconut oil is the best. Coconut oil, you have to do everything with coconut oil. Previously, everybody said that olive oil with olive leaves is the best. Olive oil is the best. You have to cook on it, drink it. Even a spoon for the night is very good, is very healthy. Come on, it's like if you take if you take all that information as a fact, you will just get smashed. It's good to learn, it's good to read, and it's good to discuss, chat, ask questions. Thank you very much, and see you next time.
We're ending the meeting now. We've already done 11:06, and you can always, we will be sending out a notification to everybody about how to get onto the WhatsApp group, which will now start the scheduling. I hope to be live again on Tuesday onwards. Thanks very much. Take care. All the best.